What do you like with your brats, huh? I like it all. Peppers and onions are the key though, okay? So we'll do some peppers, some onions, and some garlic. Get this moving around. I chopped that bacon up a bunch because I want it to kind of render down fast, and I want all of that great bacon flavor to dissolve into this mixture. So, green bell, red bell, big onion, peppers, onions, bacon in, get a couple cloves of garlic. I've got enough moisture in there, I don't have to worry about this really burning. And I'm also just gonna give these a quick little chop. And in a second, I'll deglaze this with some beer once it starts to caramelize up. Now we're into the peppers, the onions, the bacon. We're right at that point where we can go ahead and hit this with a little deglaze, and we'll grab ourselves a couple lagers. Now, you got your favorite kind of beer you like to cook with. Like I said, I just want to make sure that the beer that I'm cooking with isn't going to overpower. It's going to complement. Okay, so we get in with a little bit of lager. One. That I learned in school. Okay. You could just smell the hoppiness of that going on right now. Now we'll get in with some chicken stock. I got some fresh herbs over here, some thyme, some rosemary. Okay, so a couple sprigs of that. Not that much. Remember, rosemary's super strong. So rosemary, thyme, and of course, this wouldn't be complete without a little bay leaf. So look at this. Look at those bad boys right there. Gorgeous, okay? Now this is something you're not gonna see me do often, but I'm gonna do it here and I'll explain why. I'm gonna poke these with this skewer all the way through these sausages. What I want this to do is while it cooks, I want the sausage to share its flavor in this braising liquid with these veggies, and I want the veggies to share their flavor with the brats, okay? So those look pretty good. I'll just put these back in the, no, come on. See people do that. Okay, let me grab a pair of tongs. Submerge them down in the liquid. Remember, we got the chicken stock, bacon, the two bottles of lager in there, the peppers, the onions, the rosemary, the thyme, the garlic. I mean, the flavor profile that's going on in here is nuts. Everybody's in, maybe 15 minutes, we'll be in good shape. Now I'm gonna pull them out, let them cool a bit, slice them, and then throw them on the grill to build some awesome texture. Just give them a quick little slice. It's like 1, 2, 3, roll it. 1, 2, 3. Sausage or grilling, I can shut these down and actually start pulling them off. I braised them in the liquid, then I pulled them out, let them cool a little bit, sliced them, grilled them to get that extra little charred texture. Final piece here, make sure my heat's off. We're gonna get in some whole grain mustard. Now this was my braising liquid. We started with bacon, rendering that down. Then we had peppers, onions, garlic. Then we threw in some thyme. I mean, we had beer going there too. We had 2 bottles of lager. Put all this butter in there as well. Outrageous. A little parsley going in here. Pierce the brats. So they kind of shared their juices with this. So you've got cooked down onions and bacon and these herbs and everybody together. Now, ready? First we'll go down with a couple sausage. Hit a little bit of onions and peppers. My signature cheeseburger. First, just a little bit of mayonnaise. Some roasted garlic. Yellow mustard. I know, you're seeing it all. A little Worcestershire sauce. Touch of some salt. Cracked black pepper. So everything you love about mayonnaise, the fat, the creaminess, the saltiness, all we did was amp it up and take the flavor another level. That's donkey sauce. All right, donkey sauce is done. What do we need next? The SMC, the super melted cheese. You gotta promise you're not gonna show anybody this. Now, in this pot, I have a little bit of water already going. Now I'm gonna add some half and half. This, we gotta go low and slow. I have some processed cheese, all cubed up, and we're gonna bring this temperature up nice and easy so it doesn't break. We'll go in with a little bit of Worcestershire. and just a little kiss of some Tabasco. It's not gonna be hot, but you get the idea. We need to just have a little bit of heat in there, okay? So we're gonna let this go low and slow. And as that processed cheese starts to melt a little bit, we're gonna add in some of my other favorite cheeses. You could go with a double boiler with this. I don't think it's necessary. If you just don't crank the heat, you won't burn it, you won't scorch it. Just take your time. Processed cheese starting to melt a little bit. Now we're gonna back it up with some real cheese. We're gonna get in some smoked Gouda. And again, we shred it really thin and give it a chance to melt nicely. We'll get in with some cheddar, shredded really finely. Whisk would also be a nice thing to do, but as always, I just have one utensil. If I could make this into a knife and a fork and a pair of tongs all at the same time, like a gigantic Swiss Army knife, tell you, I'd be going places. A little provolone. There we go. Now it's really starting to work for us. Beautiful. Now, one of the real keys to this cheese sauce is to hand shred it so you don't get that funky little dust that they put on the outside of the cheese to keep it from coagulating when it's inside the bag. I mean, I'll tell you one thing about buying cheese. Buy that whole block and shred it yourself. We'll just keep the cheese sauce warm. It's ready to go. Beautiful. Okay, next up, the burger. Now, what we have here is 80-20 ground beef. And when we're talking about making great burgers, if I'm getting everybody over and we're gonna do it, I would recommend going to the butcher and saying, grind me up a little bit of brisket, give me some short rib, and give me some chuck. If you're gonna do it right. We've got about 1.5 pounds here, so this should make us about 4 6-ounce patties. My favorite way to do it, just to make sure that we're keeping everybody even, because you know with 2 boys, if you don't make the patties even, someone's gonna be upset that someone got a bigger one. Okay, so we take the patty, we're gonna ball it up. Don't press it super hard. Now, I want you to do this at home. I want you to just hit that salt all the way around. Roll that salt all the way around with your favorite kosher salt, and it's seasoned. No pepper, nothing else, just like this. I have my flat top over here, but since I know that you might not have one at home, I want to show you how to do this with a cast iron. If you don't have cast iron, I want you to go get one. Sporting goods stores have them galore. Go to Camp Chef, anybody's got them. But really good cast iron is the way to go, and we're gonna drop this down. There we go, that's what we're looking for, okay? Cold meat hot pan. While that's going, wash my hands real quick. Smash of the patty. Seasoned all the way around. One over the top. Sometimes you'll see people do it with a big hand press. That's what I'm looking for. And you only get to smash it once, folks. Brioche bun. Get a little bit of this garlic butter on there. As soon as we see some of the juice float to the top, we're gonna flip it and try to put it in another spot where it wasn't just exactly at. And that's what we're looking for, that nice crust, that Maillard effect on top. Smoky smells burgers. We're gonna treat both sides of the bun. Now, gotta get this working real quick. Gonna take some of the cheese sauce. This is a little hot, so it's gonna run a bit on us, but you'll get the general idea. When it cools down, it's a little bit easier to apply to it. We're gonna take the cheese sauce, throw it right up on top. Throw the cheese on top. Dome and some water. This steam is gonna help melt that cheese better than any salamander putting it under the broiler. So like this. This is just the exact way we do it in the restaurant. Guy's Kitchen and Bar, Guy's Burger Joint, you go on Carnival Cruise Lines, you watch what they're doing. This is exactly how it goes down. Okay? A little bit of the donkey sauce. Liberally, we call it coast to coast. Want to get that fat all the way across. Hit a few pickles right on the bottom. Pickles are key. Got to have that acid, got to have that tang. Really thin onions. Okay. That's what I'm talking about. That's melted cheese right on top of it. Thin sliced iceberg lettuce, a couple thin sliced tomatoes, nice toasted brioche bun, And ladies and gentlemen, that's the burger. That cheeseburger right there, we won New York City Food and Wine Festival, Burger Bash. We've sold hundreds of thousands of these. But I want you to take a look at it. Juicy, scratch-made, handmade. My mouth is watering so bad. Are you ready? I gotta be honest with you. It's a simple burger. It's a simple recipe. You just gotta use great ingredients, and you gotta follow the rules. You're gonna serve it just like we do at the restaurant. I'm giving you all I got, folks. Hope you dig it. Go home and make it. I know you're gonna love it. My al pastor tacos, topped with a fresh pineapple jalapeno salsa. So let's talk about the marinade for the al pastor. First, I'm starting off with a little sweet onion. And this is really gonna be where, well, if you've ever had al pastor, you'll know what this next ingredient's gonna be, and that's pineapple. All right, so what I'm doing is taking off the exterior of the pineapple, not doing it how we'd normally do it. We really take that curve to really not waste the pineapple. This, I'm actually gonna use these in the cooking process with the al pastor. We're gonna take this, use some of this pineapple for the marinade and some of the pineapple for a salsa. Break this up. Now a little chipotle. Now this is called chipotle in adobo. So we'll drop 2 of those in. There we go. Distilled white vinegar, the old school vinegar. We're gonna hit a little bit of that in there. Some garlic cloves. Now, I'm gonna need a liquid in there that's gonna work with this, gonna give that nice sweetness. Of course, we'd wanna use lime juice, lemon juice. This one right here, a little OJ. So to the fridge for about a half cup of OJ. Now the cast of characters you would definitely expect, a little cumin, some Mexican oregano, that really nice, big, fragrant oregano. That's the type we're talking about here. Some smoked paprika. There we go, just a touch of that. And, of course, a little kosher salt. That's too much kosher salt. Okay. This marinade, now, here's the thing I'll warn you. You know that you want to marinate it and you want to go long and you want to really let the flavors build. I don't think more than 4 hours for this one, okay? There we go. So the bone-in cross-cut shoulder, drop that in. Drop it, well, all that marinade. And this can go for, you can take this to the fridge or you could just let it go on the countertop. We're looking for about 2, maybe 3 hours. Okay, kind of move it around here a little bit. All right, seal this up. And we are good to go. Now let's talk about the salsa. Now, get some onion. So the salsa is gonna be pretty straightforward. We're gonna let the jalapeno work with the sweetness of the pineapple. Really nice fine dice, just so it kind of just melts into it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna sear off this pork shoulder. A little bit of oil. This should be pretty screaming hot. I'm gonna reserve the marinade and throw it in there in just a second because I'm gonna braise this off in the wood-fired oven. Wood-fired oven, your oven, convection oven, whatever it might be. So we're gonna drop this in, should make some noise. Just what I was looking for, back to the salsa. Okay, so all this is in. Now, what's this need? Absolutely some jalapeno. Roll it around a few times. And again, a really nice fine dice. Get a little Fresno chili into this. Again, that same idea. There we go. So you got the spice, tropical flavor coming through from that pineapple. Just give this a little bit more dice, and we really would like to let this have some time to come together. It'll help the jalapeno mellow out a little bit. This is really the crowd pleaser on top of this taco. Okay, we'll drop that in. Let me take a look at this. There we go, nice little sear. We're gonna get a good amount of liquid in there, but let me sear off that side first. Back to the cilantro. That might be a little much. Now I'll roll that cilantro, kind of like when you're working with basil and you were trying to get that chiffonade. And of course, what it needs is a little salt and a little lime juice. That goes in. Touch. Now, anytime I'm gonna throw lime juice in, of course I'm gonna throw a little lime zest because that gives that real great citrus flavor without all the acid. So we'll just give it a little zest. Remember, once you've cut that lime, it's real hard to zest it. So I'll just roll that a few times. And press. You would be amazed. Now listen, I'll tell you about this because I think you've seen it. You might not have a lime press. Here's what happens. Citrus is super expensive different times of the year. So if you're gonna do it, get everything out of it. This should almost turn it inside out. But I still watch people all the time just sitting there wringing it with their hands. Maybe they'll get a fork in there and kind of give it a little bit of work. You cannot beat in any way, shape, or form a citrus press. So look at this. Everything out of there. See how it turns almost inside out? Awesome for the compost. Okay. Give that a little stir. And we'll let those jalapenos just start to work and break down inside of all that onion and pineapple. All right, look at this. Seared off nice, good crust on both sides. Told you to hold on to the marinade exactly. We're gonna take this leftover marinade, pour it in on top, okay? Don't worry, that's not all the liquid. You need to come about halfway on this for the liquid to really get that braising, to get that to work in there, so it's gonna be shredding apart. So we get a little chicken stock. Low sodium, because we've already got enough of our own seasonings that we put in there. So we'll hit some of the chicken stock in about halfway up. This is gonna become the lid for this al pastor. So what happens, I'm gonna throw them right on top. So we're gonna get the flavor and we're gonna get all those enzymes working to break this down to make it super tender, like that. Grab a towel, into the oven, 350 degrees, 2, maybe 3 hours. We'll be able to check it, just seeing how fork tender it is. But how cool is that? Using the pineapple as a lid. Listen, al pastor, the Guy Fieri way, hanging out at the ranch, but just take a look at what we're dealing with right there. You have the skins of the pineapple sitting on top of that beautiful pork shoulder that had a chance to marinate, braised it off a little chicken stock and the marinade itself. We'll let this cool down for a second. This is what we've been waiting for. I'm telling you what, you are gonna flip when you try this. So I'm just giving this a quick little chop, and I'm just gonna drop this right back in. So look at that. Oh. Now I've got some great condiments over here, one being this pineapple salsa that I made. That pineapple with the vinegar, with the adobo, the chipotle. Texas style chili. So a little bit of olive oil, the onions right now. We're gonna use some Anaheims right here, okay? Some red bell, look at that, just sweating up nice. This Fresno chili here, I'm not too worried about the heat on it. Pretty mild, so I'll just give it a couple slices down the front. So far, so good, huh? Okay, add a little bit of salt to it. Let's get into dry chilies. Now, this is really the foundation of this chili. What we're first starting off is with some chili de árbol, which is nice and spicy, the ancho, and guajillo. So now I'm gonna reconstitute them with just a little bit of hot water, okay? I'm gonna do it right there in that pan. And those are gonna go directly into the chili in just a minute. Speaking of the chili, I need to get those peppers and onions out of there because now I have got some top round that I want to brown off. And we're talking about, I don't want it to be interrupted. I really want to build some crust, kind of like we're searing a short rib. So what I want to do is get all these out, because you leave just a little bit of this in there. There's a lot of moisture. It'll keep the meat from really browning up. Look how beautiful, huh? So we'll just hit it with a little touch of some salt, and we'll just drop it, crank that pan back up, right back in. There we go. Nice little sear gonna happen to that. And I also have some ground beef that I'll put in a little bit. I like to have two of the textures. It needs a little bit of this garlic. So I have these reconstituted guajillos, chili de árbol, and anchos, okay? Hit that, a little bit of power, puree it. There we go. We'll dump this right in here on with the meat, in with that garlic that I just added. That's where your real flavor is coming from. Let me drop this in, sweated peppers and onions that we had from earlier. And that all gets mixed together. Look at that. Look, take a look inside of this. Now it's time to go build another layer of seasoning. So I've done some salt and pepper, got the peppers and the garlic. Now we'll do a touch of cayenne, a little oregano, a little bit of cumin. Gotta have a little kiss of cinnamon. 2 quarts of beef stock. We're gonna let this go in here. It's gonna cook down, believe it or not, for 2 hours. Beer cheddar cheese sauce. So start with a roux, a little half and half. Not too much half and half because we're adding in a full beer. Nice amber beer, so you're gonna get that deep, rich beer flavor. Dropping in some sharp cheddar, a little touch of cayenne, dry mustard. Gotta have that little tang in there from the dry mustard. A little bit of Worcestershire, a little touch of paprika. Okay, so let that go. Get some cream cheese. We got beer, we've got chili. We'll lay that right in like that. And we'll just let this go low and slow till it breaks up that cream cheese. There we go. Okay, but what I want to do right now, I want to get a little bit of beer and I want to get a little bit of masa harina. And I also want to add a little bit of paprika. There we go. So we're going to mix this up. So we'll just slowly incorporate this in. And this is gonna work as an awesome thickener. It kind of plays right into the theme of Texas and chili and Tex-Mex. You take a look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Tell me that is not gorgeous. Right on top there. Look at that. What is a danger dog? What is a danger dog? I'm gonna stuff jalapenos inside of a hot dog and wrap it in bacon and then put this righteous relish on top of it. Say it, righteous relish. Okay, so here's what I did is I broke down half the pineapple, a little veg oil. This thing is smoking hot. Okay, on we go with the pineapple. Save a piece for me. Nice little grill marks, not looking to cook it. Just kind of put a little char to it. Take this big spoon. So I took the center seed out. I'm just gonna kind of get this right inside. Twist it around, and this is super ripe. Pull all that flesh out. Let's get back to making the rest of this relish that's gonna go on top. So pickle relish, some jalapeno, little Fresno chili or red jalapeno. Fresno's a little bit spicier. Red onion, and some lemon juice, okay? Let's see what we're looking like here. Beautiful. So a little jalapeno. I like the Fresno. I want the heat. Get this jalapeno sliced down. Okay. Gonna put that. Bowl. Now we'll get a little bit of lemon juice in there, a little acid from that. A little bit of olive oil. Touch of some salt and pepper. Go. A little bit of the relish. And a little lemon juice. Like this. We'll squeeze, that's a little bit of acid there for it. Lime juice would work great too. You got onions, peppers, a little bit of relish, but to dial it down, calm it down. Kind of stuck mango. Took the core of this out, and that char is going to be perfect. Those are nice and soft. Go. Okay. That in. This is some nice applewood smoked bacon and a super hot. There's the jalapeno. I cut out the round a touch. I got a jalapeno strip. Okay. So here's what's gonna happen. These are gonna cook, really just warm up, get all those flavors. We've got a hot dog, all beef dog, stuffed with jalapenos, wrapped in bacon, all put together. Check this out. We're gonna hit some mustard, this killer relish that I made starting off with some relish, some jalapenos, some red Fresno chilies, a little bit of grilled pineapple. Now we'll just hit some mustard on top, your favorite mustard. There's also a little grilled mango in there. Okay, look at this, huh? Little red onion. Now we'll get this delicious, now this had a chance to kind of set up a little bit. Check out the beautiful colors on that. Right on top. So the Danger Dog has got the jalapeno in it, wrapped in the applewood smoked bacon, and then grilled off, kind of give it a chance to render down, kind of, you know, the dogs, you know, they come out of the package, they're kind of soft. This kind of toughens them up a little bit. So they got some great texture. Tell me that doesn't look awesome. Look at that bad boy. Just like I'm in the streets of Tijuana. It's everything.